Hey guys, June 30th, Tuesday. I hadn't done a video in a little while. I have been having some technical difficulties on my phone, but also been pretty busy. But I have been able to get into creek. Went up the trout pond site and decided to go quite a ways above the site that I normally hunt, and I found a kind of a blowout next to the bank where a lot of material had washed out, I think, during the winter time when we had a lot of rain, but I found some pretty nice stuff. Thought I'd go over it with you. I really can't wait to get back to, check some more of that out up there in that area. But anyway, here's one of these big pieces I said I wasn't going to be bringing home, but this is a big grinder, dual material. Got the yellow quartz on the grinding surface there and granite on the top. It's all been pecked out on the top there, polished. It's just a really big grinder. Pretty nice piece. It's got a thumb groove right here, so it'd probably be held like this, and just work like that in order to grind up your grains and nuts with. Anyway, I thought you guys would like to see that. Here's another one, another big piece I wasn't going to bring home. Another big grinder. I'm not sure what the material is on this. It's kind of I think it's got a mix of quartzite and I don't know, it's kind of a bluish material. You can see where it's been pecked and worked there. But this is a left-hander. There's your thumb notch right there for this stone, and it's all been worked into form. Here's your grinding edge here. You can see some of the kind of the scrape marks on the back end of this thing. That's, like I say, that's a grinding surface there. Another big tool that I wasn't going to bring home. Here's a pretty good example of a what I call a palm grinder here. This is made out of quartz or quartzite, not 100% sure, but there's your thumb groove there. There's your grinding surface. Grooved out on this side for your other fingers. It's been all pecked and polished. Back here. Anyway, it'd be held just like that, and it's real comfortable in the hand. Really nice example of what I call a palm grinder. I'm going to switch hands here. Here's another left-hander. This is that black stone material. This is kind of interesting piece. I've seen pieces like this before, but this is either a polisher or a grinder. And that's the thumb notch right here that's been grooved out on this piece. And so they would hold it like that. And there's your polishing surface there, or grinding surface. So just be held like that. Kind of just a little bit of a handle on the top. It's all been polished off on the top there. Here's a real pretty piece here I found. This just probably hasn't been in a river at all very long. I think it's kind of a white granite, but somebody really put some work into this thing, selecting the stone and the in the form that they wanted to make this thing in. Just really beautiful. That's your thumb groove right here. Got it humped right here. That'll go in your palm. So this thing will be held like that. But they really made, that's a nice tool. Real pretty. And there's your grinding surface there. Here's one here. I think it's quartzite. It's been polished completely off all the way around this stone. Almost looks like a celt. There's your polishing surface here. Trying to get this thing to focus. Should be held like that. Kind of got a little bit of blue in it. Here's another black stone, and I think this is actually just a polishing stone. I don't think it's a grinder, but this thing's been all worked. It's grooved out right in here. Grooved out in the back. Got a little bit of quartz running through it. Then tapered down on the top. Find this black stone, you need to pick it up, so most of the time they've worked it. Here's a piece what I call blue granite. Been divvied out in the back here. This thing's been polished all the way around. A lot of people just pass this thing up as a rock, but it's not. There's your grinding surface there. It's a rock, but it's actually a tool that's been formed into shape. Or worked into shape, I'm sorry. Here's a stone here. I thought I'd just show it to you. It's got a lot of oil in it. You know, this culture was almost 100% agrarian, and you know, they pretty much ate beans, dried beans, corn, and nuts, and during that process of making flour and all that other things that they made with the agricultural products and all, I'm sure they made an oil. I'm sure there's a byproduct of vegetable oil, and I don't know if they used that to help with polishing processes, or they used it for other purposes. But a stone like this, I don't think this oil comes from the hand. I think this was actually applied to the stone. It's so deep and heavy. But I just thought I would show you that. So I think oil was something that they made and used also, the vegetable oil. Here's another kind of a linear grinder here. Really nice piece here also. There's your thumb notch right here. Be held like that. That's your grinding surface. It's been polished all the way around on the top of this thing, all the way on the sides, all the way around. Just be held like that. Here's an really older piece here. Been around quite a while. See where it's been chipped out in here. And that's this is actually a right-hand piece. Got the hump on it. You see that a lot. Kind of dark in here. That's where your finger would lay. This is where your thumb would lay. Like I say, this is a right-handed piece. There's your grinding surface there. Old piece here. It's worn quite a bit. Now getting kind of into my actual polishing stones here. This is a piece of quartzite. It's just a polishing stone. Got a couple facets on it. Another piece of quartzite. Got a little wear on the tip there, but that's a polishing surface there. Yeah, this phone is just not working too well. Here's a piece of a black stone. And this is actually a polishing tool also. You can see where it's been taken off on the top there. But this edge right here is the polishing edge. It's all worn down. So they would hold this thing like that. That's how they would hold it. And just work other stones with it or pottery with it. See where it's all been chipped out on the top there. And here's a old duck head shaped quartz one, or a bill shaped polishing stone. It's made out of that yellow quartz. It's a polishing edge on it, flat as can be. Be held like that. And here's a piece here. You see this laying on the ground. You wouldn't give it the time of day, but I've learned over time you need to look at these things. They're kind of a little bit oddly shaped. And this is actually a polishing stone also. If you look here on this back side, it's flat as a pancake. See if I can get it to focus. There you go. See this piece of quartz on this side, it's all rough and chipped and everything and broke, you know, kind of. And then on the polishing side, it's just as smooth as can be. All flat, just completely flat. So you got to really kind of train your eye on some of this stuff, or really kind of look at a lot of different things. Like I say, normally most people wouldn't give this rock time of day, but it's actually a tool. And they used to use this, they would put it in their fingers, and I guess they would just do really fine polishing work, maybe for pottery and things like that. It's kind of another example. You're just looking at this rock, you're kind of going like, yeah, it's not much. If you notice, this has been all chipped out right here on both sides. And if you turn it over, there's your polishing surface right there. And this will be held in your fingers like that. Come on, focus. Same thing probably for pottery and things like that, something very intricate. Black stone piece, you can see the tip. This thing has been polished into a real sharp tip. And a lot of edges on this thing were used. This phone's having time with this black stone, focusing on it. There we go. Can't hardly move it at all with this black stone. It has a fit with all this crystalline material in it, but yeah, it's just been, these edges have been used to polish on each side. It's kind of polished it into that point, worn into that point. See the wear right in there. And lastly, I got one here that just has some pretty neat looking colors in it. This is probably either a little grind or a polishing stone. Just thought I'd show this to you. I don't know what the material is on this, but just pretty cool colors. It's a grinding surface there. Kind of blue, red, purple. Alright guys, that's all I got for today. I did get a lot more artifacts, and I hopefully get those on video for you before long. Appreciate you guys tuning in and checking my channel out, and I hope you're doing well.